Today we are talking about money mistakes that will keep you poor as an African. Let's be real. Africa is struggling with poverty. Many of us have witnessed heartbreaking moments where we watched our parents, siblings, and even close relatives suffer and die painful deaths, all because of the problems that money could actually solve. And yet we stood by helpless, not because we don't care, but because we lacked the financial capacity to be able to handle their situation. Now let me ask you, do you want that cycle to continue repeating itself in your family? The cycle of poverty and hunger? You might not be able to change the economic situation of the entire country, but you can start with your own family. The decisions you make with your money today, the habits you form, and the mistakes you avoid will determine whether you break free or return back to the cycle. Think about it. You can't possibly keep making the same choices and expect a different outcome. If you want your future to be different, you must change the inputs. It's not magic, it's strategy. Let me be honest with you. Even in 2025, life isn't gonna get easier. Prices of goods and services won't automatically begin to drop. In fact, they will continue to skyrocket in the market. Money is actually 60% habit and 20% mathematics. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel today, and thank God who cares. And if you are seeing me for the very first time, I make videos around productivity, storytelling, content creation, and overall building the life of your dreams. And if you want to learn storytelling, please also subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification for more amazing content. Today we are talking about money mistakes that a lot of Africans are making that is keeping us very poor, that is keeping our continent very poor. I want to walk you through a few that have worked for me. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, and I feel a few of my experiences can actually benefit you. Now, this is a disclaimer. This video is not financial advice. I am not licensed to give you financial advice. This is just for educational purposes only. I talked about this in one of my other videos, and I got a lot of comments from it, people telling me their own perspective about it. Now, please pay attention. I am not saying that you should not focus on family. Please do by all means. But when you are just starting out, you can't possibly lift someone that is crippled to stand up, whereas you are also crippled. That is the logic behind your finances. The best way to help other people is to help yourself. And even if you want to help other people, you should be able to be in a position where they can look up to you. If they are looking at you like this, you won't be able to help them. They need to be looking up to you. That way you can pick them up. You get the point I'm trying to make. Most Africans make this mistake to think that your first income, the first money you begin to make from your business, you should begin to help your family. Please do not do that. By all means, help them. The needs, feeding. So if you decide to use the gains you are making from your business to focus on family when you are just starting out, you will not be able to grow at the pace you are supposed to grow. And at the end, when there is no money to finance that business, your family will even have to suffer more, and you will have to join them also. I personally made this mistake when I started out content creation in 2020, and an elderly person actually called me and gave me this advice, and it changed my life completely. And I feel you guys need to also learn. If you are currently living in an apartment where your 3-month salary cannot confidently pay for your annual rent, you are living in the wrong apartment. Say for example, we are going to use dollars now because it's pretty versatile for everybody to understand. It's the most accepted currency all around the world. Say for example, you are making $2,000. and your apartment, the apartment you are currently living in, you pay $7,000, which means that if you are making $2,000 per month, 2,000 times 3 months will give you $6,000, which means your 3-month salary cannot comfortably pay for your apartment. It means you are living in the wrong apartment. What I'm trying to explain is that if you have to use your 6-month salary to pay for your 1-year apartment, in that 6 months, who will be feeding you? You see the point? Will you have to go and be collecting things on credit? Do you have to always go out and inconvenience people? How do you transport yourself to work? What about groceries? What about feeding? All of those important things. It means you have to find an apartment that will enable you pay and save. Very, very important. If the car you are currently driving, your 2-month salary cannot confidently pay for it completely, you are using the wrong car. Please pay attention and let me explain from my perspective. If the goal of a car is to help you get to where you are going, especially when you are just starting out in business, the focus is not to buy a flashy car, because those people that buy flashy cars, sport cars, the goal is not to get to where you are going. The goal is for status. Yes. Now, here's where the 5-layer principle comes into work. Leave 5 layers below how much you earn. That means if you are earning $10,000, you have to live as if you are earning $5,000, which means automatically the $5,000 on top goes into savings. And the $5,000 that goes into savings, you might actually decide to take out $3,000 and put it into an investment fund. If you do that, you will have more money at your disposal and you will never run out of funds. As Africans, every time our parents tells us to go to school, go to school, go to school. I'm a graduate. I'm not against going to school. And in fact, I got a second-class upper while still managing my other YouTube channels. I'll put up a video on screen so that you can go watch it if you want to learn how to build a YouTube channel while going to school. But I will tell you this for a fact. I graduated school early this year and moved back to Lagos. Since then, I've not used my certificate. I have not. It's not important. So overspending on school and underspending on education will actually waste your time. Let me give you a better explanation. You should invest more in educational materials like learning graphic design, learning content creation, learning how to post video content, learning web design. All of those skills were the skills I learned back in school that actually even helped me to overcome depression in school. I promise you sincerely, I was in a state where I wasn't getting any help from anybody. As the firstborn of 6 siblings, I had to find a way out of the financial crisis I found myself. And I tell you for a fact, it was content creation and web design that actually helped me finance my school and also take care of my siblings till I graduated school. And if you try to go all in on school, then neglect every other thing, when you get out of school, you will have to go and start those things afresh. What I did back then was I actually downloaded a bunch of tutorials into my laptop and I was learning every day. I devoted 3 to 4 hours to my craft every single day, and I devoted 3 hours to my study. So if you are a student watching this right now, this is an opportunity for you to learn content creation. And if you want to learn content creation, drop it down in the comments below, because I'll be dropping some videos. This one is actually for the guys. If you as a guy have been indoctrinated to think that the only way you can attract a good lady is by using money to attract them, you will actually attract people that you have to use money to sustain. The reason why a lot of people are saying love is a scam, love doesn't exist, love doesn't this, love doesn't that, is because you actually use money to attract the lady. Let me tell you this, whatever you use to start a relationship, you must use it to sustain that relationship. And let me tell you for a fact, if you are always throwing money in front of a girl, she will become more interested in the money more than you. And let's also balance that out. Women don't necessarily want money. They want leadership and security. They want to know that where they are going is secured. They want to know that the man they have to submit to is a man that is headed somewhere. When they come close to you and they find out that all you have is money, you don't have value as a man. You don't. Money is not a sign of value. There are so many people that have money, but they don't have value. What I mean by value is you being able to lead her to where you are going. And I tell you for a fact, every woman that meets a man automatically begins to size him up. And it's not a bad thing. At all, it's not a bad thing. So using money to find love is the worst financial decision that I see most young people make in their 20s. And I want to save you from it. What I advise you do is focus on your business, my brother. Focus on your business. Focus on growing your business. And while you are focusing on growing your business, you will find your spouse while you are focused. You can't possibly go outside to intentionally begin to look for a woman. It doesn't work that way. It is when you are focused on purpose, that is where you will find your wife. And when you find your wife in purpose, she will align with what you are doing. A lot of us grew up too quickly. We didn't even get the chance to enjoy our childhood, and that's why even till date, you can't even remember remarkable things you did when you were a child. Life threw us into adulthood long before we were ready. Maybe it was because you lost your father or your mother earlier on. Maybe it was something else, or a tragedy that left you with no choice but to step into the responsibility of adulthood too early. For many young people in Africa, the story is the same. You hardly remember the joyful moments of your early years. Your teenage age seems as if it's blur, endless hustling, grinding, and trying to survive. All of a sudden, you became the replacement of your absent father, doing all to keep things together. But let me tell you something. You can't fix everything. You are not the replacement of your father. When you're just starting out in business, I advise you focus on the things you can't control and not the things you cannot control. Now, here's the rule that I actually live by. As a young man, I always never make decisions when I'm happy. Listen to me and let me explain. When money comes in, it begins to spark some level of excitement in your spirit. And all of a sudden, there is this inborn desire to want to blow the money out of the water. At that time, what I usually do is I will turn off my phone and go to sleep immediately. That's how I cool off. I cool off, then when I wake up, I'm waking up with a fresh perspective on how to deal with the money. Now, this point is also tied to the other point. Imagine, for example, you've already budgeted for the money before it comes. When it comes, even within that excitement, you will be thinking straight. Do not make money promises when you are excited. Do not promise someone money when you are excited, when you are happy. Only promise someone money when you have returned to your senses and the euphoria that comes to that money has died down. Do not make decisions when you are sad or hungry. Always make decisions when you are full. At that time, you have control over whatever happens around your environment, and you are not triggered by your environment. You are only making decisions based on what will actually move your life forward. Now, if you want to be able to ask me questions, please go over to my Instagram. I will drop it down in the description below so that you can go over there and ask me specific questions relating to content creation, storytelling, and every other thing. Now, if you want to start content creation, I sincerely advise you to watch this video that is showing on my screen right now, because this video will actually help you narrow down your options. And if you want to also know the things you should avoid in your 20s so that you can build the life of impact, watch this video that is showing down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.